Hello, and welcome everyone. My name is Amy Brownell, and every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, I go live here on YouTube to talk about all things CFO and advisory services related. So, today, what we're going to do is talk about why clients, prospects, why they're absolutely happy, overjoyed to pay high ticket CFO fees. So as I said, I go live here every Tuesday. I'd really love it if you would hit that subscribe button so you're notified when I drop new videos. Let's go ahead and dig in. So first of all, when I talk about premium fees, what am I talking about? Well, the average bookkeeper, and when I say the average bookkeeper makes around $76 an hour, I'm talking about bookkeepers who have their own business. I am not talking about bookkeepers who work for an employer. Obviously, those salaries are a bit lower because they have to pick up the cost of health insurance and 401k and all of that stuff. They have to make some money off of you, in other words. So typically, when a bookkeeper has their own business, they're making about $76 an hour. CFO advisors, on the other hand, they typically earn about $128 an hour total. So about $50 more an hour. Or if we were to do the math, that's about $105,000 more a year. That is 64%. $100,000 a year more, that is an entirely new salary to your family, to what you might be already accomplishing. Just, you can do that as, remember, a side hustle or as a full-time job. Now, let's dig in a little bit more as to why CFO advisors are able to make such large fees. First, let's do a comparison. So the average monthly fee for a bookkeeping client is about $300 to $1,000 per client per month. And if you look at it from a tax prep perspective, preparing tax returns, it's about the same, $300 to $1,000 per tax return. So if we just take the average of that, say about $650 per client per month or $650 per tax return, if you were to earn $100,000, you would need to have 13 monthly recurring bookkeeping clients to earn $100,000 a year, or you'd have to do 154 tax returns. Now, on the other hand, CFO and advisors, they make, give or take, an average of $3,000 to $8,000 per client per month. I know, big jump, right? So $300 to $1,000 versus $3,000 to $8,000. Quite a big difference. So if you were looking to make that same $100,000 using an average there of that $3,000 to $8,000, which is about $5,500, you would only need two clients to reach that goal. I mean, that is phenomenal. Think of the extra time that you'll have in your life. So the question really is, why in the world does this exist? Why are CFO advisors paid so much more than bookkeepers? Well, the answer lies in the crux of what they do. So bookkeepers are really focused on the past, what has happened in a previous month or reporting cycle that is used to put the financial statements together. So what categorizations do they need to do to make sure that the numbers are correct, and what kind of reconciliations do they need to do? But everything is based in the past. Whereas CFO advisors are all about the future. Sure, do they do a variance analysis that explains what happened last month? True. But the vast majority of what they do, is focused on the future. And they are paid to create clarity and strategy. Now let's dig a little bit more into this. Now, if you were a business owner, what I want you to do is think about what you would be willing to pay. How much would you be willing to pay to, for example, keep the lights on, keep your business open, and make sure that your team is getting paid? Also, making sure that you get paid. How much would you pay to really understand and see those small issues before they become big, expensive problems? Head those problems off at the pass. How much would you pay to understand the impact of a decision before you make the decision? It's like having a crystal ball. It's amazing. So understanding what is the financial impact if I decide to hire a salesperson, or if I decide to buy versus lease a piece of equipment. What does that mean for not only my financials, but what does that mean for my overall business? Does it make sense for me to launch a new product or service or increase prices? If I increase prices, what effect does that have on how many I sell? So all of this is tied together. And CFO advisors, they can provide the answers to those types of questions. The last thing is they allow business owners to sleep better at night. So can you imagine not having to worry about if your finances are being taken care of, not have to worry about if you have enough cash to pay your bills, or if you have a plan for the future, if you're able to pay for your daughter's wedding in 2.5 years? Like, you've got a plan. You have someone on your side. Now, what I always like to say is that clients, they pay for results. They don't pay for reports. And when the result, what they get, is more than what they pay, that's a no-brainer decision. That is not a fee. That is actually more of an investment. And that's what we're doing here, is that we are making our fee is an investment in that company is making in its future to start solving those problems. So if you think about, all right, CFO fees, clients are happy to pay them. What kinds of clients are happy to pay them? Well, in general, we are looking for clients who have a minimum revenue threshold. I've seen it happen as low as 500,000, but in general, it's got to be over 500 to about $50 million. That needs to be kind of the revenue scope. Now, those are the types of clients who can afford to pay our services. Not to say that the smaller clients don't need our help, because they absolutely do. But unfortunately, they're not in a position where they're able to pay for CFO and advisory services. So that is a quick overview of why customers are so happy to pay for fees. I would love it if someone would come in and tell me exactly what to do, exactly how to manage my business in a way that makes me the most money, that allows me to have the most time, the most free time to do the things that I want to do. I'm not working 24/7. I would love it if someone was able to plan for my future. And that is what you get with a CFO advisor. All right, so let's wrap this up. I've really enjoyed this. If you're watching the replay, be sure to drop any comments or questions you have into the comments below, and I'll get them answered for you. If you find this topic interesting and you want to learn more, I actually have a challenge. You can go ahead and check out that link in the description. Upcoming challenge. I'm not entirely sure when it is yet, but it'll be announced. But it will be announced soon. And in that challenge, you are going to learn exactly what CFO and advisory services are. You're going to learn about the #1 tool of how to deliver these services to clients that's time efficient for you and wows them. And we also talk about finding and landing those high ticket clients. So if you're interested, check out the description down below. And I will be here next Tuesday talking about another CFO and advisory topic at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. All right, thanks.